Hello Dino Peep! If you are new here, hi, my name is Tia, and if you are a returning viewer, then welcome back. I'm glad you found your way here. So let's talk about the new Fantastic Tame, specifically the Elderclaw bear. We know I'm not usually a big fan of the Fantastic Tames concept, but in this case I'll make an exception because it is included in the Lost Colony pack. This means if you're a pre-orderer, you will get the bear with it, and it's not a single payment bear, and that sounds a bit like a band name, doesn't it? As I experimented a little bit with the Elderclaw, I can tell you, holy moly, they packed a whole lot of mechanics into it. How many of them we will end up using, I have no idea. However, this is not just a left-click tame that can do nothing else but attack with your left click. Even though it doesn't want to spawn in my single-player game, I assume it will be around in the forest on the servers. Why they don't spawn in single-player? No idea, but it sounds like a bug to me. But how do you get the Elderclaw as your own tame once you see them in the wild? Well, you can't tame it, but you can still have it as your own tame by, unfortunately, having to kill it. After that, it drops a seed. And yes, I know, that sounds a bit awkward, but that's the game mechanic. It drops a seed that looks a little bit like a flashbang from Aberration. So the similarity is definitely there. To grow the seed, you have to plant it in a large crop plot in a greenhouse with 300% effectiveness. And ideally, in the best case, you also want to have a shovel to increase the effectiveness even more. You need water, fertilizer, and then these items: honey, leech blood, sap, biotoxin, ammonite bile, and black pearls. These are the important items that you need to have on hand, and I would say in a moderate amount. For example, have a stack of each laying around. While the bear baby plant is growing, you have to feed it with these items from time to time. You will see a timer on your crop plot, and this timer will show you how long you have to wait until the next craving phase occurs. Then the crop plot will ask for one of these items, and then you have to feed it. With E, you can then, just like when you fill it with fertilizer, feed the plant with these items. Especially on single player, this can be a bit stressy, and once you have struggled through all of the growth phases, then as soon as the plant is a fruitling, you can harvest it. This destroys the plant, and a small Elderclaw teddy bear will spawn next to the crop plot, and they totally missed the opportunity to call this a younger claw. Twins and triplets can also spawn here. That's the normal chance you have with normal births. Yes, and then you simply raise it as an omnivore, just like the dire bear. So now, what can the Elderclaw do? And I wonder what the Elderclaw cannot do, because the Elderclaw can do a lot. Let's start with the little things. The Elderclaw doesn't need a saddle, as it follows the natural armor mechanic of the Reaper and Shadowmane. It can bite, it can hit with its paw, it can jump, and it can jump forward with an AoE attack. It also has a bark armor that uses food for it to be even more protected. As another attack, you can also have a root attack, with which you can hold opponents for a few seconds, and then you can set up a totem that forms a ring, and strange things happen inside this ring. While you're fighting, spirit flowers pop up around you, and when you run over them, you get healed. But not only that. There is also the corpse flower, which makes the Elderclaw a little bit of a gacha. You can set in the radial menu of the bear what kind of flower it should produce, so what kind of resource it should produce. And these resources are, by the way, the same ones that you're using for the cravings as well. And then every time you kill a wild animal, you have a 5% chance that one of these corpse flowers will appear. It looks like a normal flower with roots around it. And then you just go to them, pick them up, and you get a small number of resources. When you're in your totem circle, you do more damage, and I think you also take less damage. You have a small counter in the bottom right that shows you how many times you hit an enemy while the totem circle was up. When this counter reaches 100 at least, or maximum 200, you can hold down a key combination that I'm showing you here, and then your totem will explode for a lot of damage, and I think it's 10 times your attack damage. At the same time, your bear will also become twice as big, and I'm not exactly sure what it does, but I think it does more damage and it is quicker, it has more movement speed. This effect will also last for, I think, like half a minute or a few seconds. The Elderclaw is breedable. I tested that for you, and yes, they will also drop these seeds when you breed them. That means you will not get babies after a pregnancy, but you will get these seeds which basically behave like eggs, but you have to raise them in a crop plot. However, if you made 2 bears and raise them this way, you won't get the craving mechanic. The cravings are exclusively there to give you levels that you would have otherwise gotten through taming effectiveness. And since you only get taming effectiveness on wild animals and wild tames and not on bred ones, you can just put the seed in the crop plot and just let it grow there. It will take longer than the wild seed, but you do not have to bear sit the plant. And I think it's already worth it to just let them grow in the background and harvest them whenever you get to it. What I find quite nice, however, is when you put the seed in the crop plot, you can immediately see the stats and the colors that the bear will have. If you do not want these stats, or if it's not something that interests you, then you can just destroy the plant. You don't have to sit on this plant and wait for a bear to hatch that you don't want. Something we rarely talk about here are the color regions on the Elderclaw bear. And they are actually made quite cleverly. One color region, for example, influences the color of the butterflies and the light that the bear has. The position that the Elderclaw has in the game for me is clearly an animal for dino groups, AoE and mass control fights. I can very well imagine that the bear will be used for supply drops on Astraios or on Extinction, and I can also imagine people having a high mutated bear that they will take to bosses to boost their other boss creatures. I can even imagine them being used for PvP. They have put a lot of work into the bear. The game mechanics are complex, they're creative, and the colors look good on them. And this is usually something that I, as a breeder, always complain about when animals do not have good colors or good color regions. But I think, considering how much variety in the game mechanics there are, this bear will definitely be interesting for PvP and PvE. These are now basically just the things that I have found out about the Elderclaw in the first test and the first theory crafting. Should I find out more, should any super important mechanic or outstanding ability for the Elderclaw come up, then I will of course make a follow-up video as well. As always, you know. But other than that, this was everything I can tell you about the Elderclaw for now. If you still have any questions, then please write them into the comments. But also tell me, what did you find out about the Elderclaw? Any more information I'm really happy about. And if you have any questions, I will see if I can look things up for you or if I can find it out. But before you leave, wait until the end screen, because YouTube has found these videos that you would probably like to watch instead of going somewhere else. So check out these videos, because I'm pretty sure you might be interested in them as well. Otherwise, I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!